Today we begin our study of the mother. What she means to us, what is her role in Sri Aurobindo's movement, what is her place in history. These are some of the topics that we will be dealing with in the course of our studies. As you would expect, any study of the mother and her work is going to be endless, and we will not place any time limit on our enterprise. The first question that arises is, who is the mother? Is she a disciple of Sri Aurobindo? One, a seeker from the West who came to India, met Sri Aurobindo and became his disciple, maybe a premier disciple. There has been considerable discussion on this subject, and in spite of Sri Aurobindo's explicit statement on who is the mother, there are still certain minds who want to believe that she is the first disciple of Sri Aurobindo. In a note which has not been so publicized, Sri Aurobindo has clearly written, the mother is not a disciple of Sri Aurobindo. She has had the same realization and experience as myself. In another place, he says, points out that the mother and myself are the same consciousness in two bodies. For purposes of the work. What the work is, we'll come to later on. The mother was a teacher in her own right. She did not become a teacher after coming here. Sri Aurobindo notes further, the mother was an adept in the Buddhist yoga and the yoga of the Gita even before she came to India. Her yoga was moving towards a grand synthesis. After this, it was natural that she should come here When the mother came here, she did not come to seek spiritual help. She had a plenitude of realizations of various dimensions. She came because she had a work to do. She was sent. She was called. She was one who had attained identity with the divine within oneself, and the divine in the cosmos very early, even by the time she was 20 or so. She had plumbed the depths of the occult knowledge and practice and completed her mastery even before she came here. She had her own following, her own circle, which, however, she did not allow to expand beyond a limit, because she knew that her mission was different. The fact that she did not come or function as a disciple is made clear by Sri Aurobindo on a number of occasions. He has made it explicitly clear that the only person from whom he has received help in this sadhana is from the mother. He has observed that he had completed his personal sadhana and if it was a question of only his personal fulfillment, personal transformation, he did not need any help. But he found that he did not know the way to reach his help. His consciousness to others, not just to the limited circle of people around him, but to the world at large. And he says, it was the mother from whom he received that knowledge and help. He has observed to someone that after the mother's coming, what would have normally taken him 10 years of sadhana, he could finish in a few months. I believe he said 6, I'm not sure, but in a few months. The beginning was made in 1914. Then, as you all know, she had to go. In the outbreak of the war, and it was after she came back in 1920 that things were firmed up. And he notes, speaking on the subject, why it was necessary that she joined him. He says, in my own case, it was a necessary condition for the work that I had to do. If I had to do my own transformation, or give a new yoga, or a new ideal to a select few people who came in my personal contact, I could have done that without having any Shakti. But for the work that I had to do, it was necessary that the two sides must come together. By the coming together of the mother and myself, certain conditions are created which make it easy for you to achieve the transformation. You can take advantage of those conditions. In making this statement, Sri Aurobindo affirms and follows the ancient tradition of the necessity of Shakti when it is a question of creation or manifestation. He notes, it is not necessary for everyone to have a Shakti. It is only for those who are assigned such a work as to manifest something new, something high, that the presence of a Shakti is necessary. We will come to the philosophy of Shakti later on. And what was the work for which Mother had to come, and which Sri Aurobindo acknowledges with so much of grace, so much of self-effacement. He says, My realization, whether you call it nirvana or realization of the truth consciousness, would have remained a philosophy if the mother had not come. It was she who gave a practical form to my realization and the philosophy of life divine. Otherwise, it may well have remained a theory. It was she who organized this ashram as an expression of the collective effort to realize the truth of the supramental consciousness. And she continued that work, as you all know, even after Sri Aurobindo left his body in 1950. Even when she was in her own country, France, mother knew very well that she was destined to work for a great transformation of the world. You anticipate what we'll be dealing another time? I would like to quote Sri Aurobindo when he says, the mother's sadhana started when she was very young. When she was 12 or 13, every evening many teachers came to her and taught her various spiritual disciplines. Among them was a dark Asiatic figure. When we first met, she immediately recognized me as the dark Asiatic figure whom she used to see a long time ago. That she should come here and work with me for a common goal was, as it were, a divine dispensation. When later on somebody observed that mother used to join meditations with Sri Aurobindo during the pre-ashram days, Sri Aurobindo corrected that person and said, she was coming, yes, but that was individual. She was coming to me and her position was special. Even from the very beginning, there was no comparison between others and mother. There were people in the ashram who thought that the mother had done no sadhana before she came to India. And then he went on to explain how she had already achieved, how her own sadhana and his were going on parallel lines and they had to meet. So, let us first disabuse our minds of the notion that she was a premier disciple of Sri Aurobindo. We would not indulge in that fanciful and dangerous game of trying to assess, measure whether Sri Aurobindo was greater or Mother was greater. When he has said that we are two embodiments of one consciousness, that sets the matter at rest. From our level, the human level, we have to treat them as equal, as Purusha, the supporting, presiding consciousness, and the dynamic executive consciousness, power, consciousness, power. They are the same reality. In the Tantras, it is described how in the beginning there was what you can't describe, the reality which is indescribable. That is called Parashiva, the transcendent presence. When there comes the urge from within to manifest something of what is held in the bosom, the Parashiva becomes two, Shiva and Shakti. But both Shiva and Shakti are the same reality in two poises. The simile that is classically given is of the sun and the sunlight. Fire and heat, they are inseparable. They are something like two functions of the same reality, same being. So, wherever there is manifestation or a new creation, you will see that there are these two, Purusha and Shakti. Indeed, it is not always necessary that the Shakti should be feminine. Vivekananda to Ramakrishna is a standing example of how the gender doesn't matter. This truth is there enshrined in each individual. In each one of us, there are these two elements, the witnessing, the presiding consciousness, the soul, and nature. What is nature in ignorance is the conscious power, Shakti. Loosely it is called the masculine and the feminine principles. Loosely. They are there everywhere. Where you have to work out something, you have to realize something. These two function. Perhaps I should mention how. The great sage Raman Maharshi at Arunachala, he was one who had realized himself very early in his life. He spent most of his life, earlier life, on the hills, in the caves. And at some stage in his life, his mother arrived and pleaded with him to let her stay. But he wouldn't have her on the hill. And he came down the hill and took his seat below the hills. And she looked after certain part of his daily routine. She was, from all appearances, an ordinary woman who had given birth to a great man. Orthodox, religious, simple. When she was about to pass away, the sage came and sat by her, put his hand on her head, and for hours he didn't get up. And it was only after the end came that he got up and gave a sigh of relief. He later explained that when he had kept his hand on her head, all the past samskaras, karmic, they were being eliminated, they were being burnt out. And he took off his hand only when she was free. That's not the end of the story. After she passed away, there was a question of what is to be done. There was a controversy. The orthodox circles outside, they said, a woman has to be cremated elsewhere. But he had a separate will. And my teachers, guides, guru, he cited authority to say that a Jivan Mukta, a liberated being, is not bound by any law, man-made law, Shastric law. And with Maharshi's approval, a samadhi was erected in the place where this event took place. And he who never encouraged any of these kind of worship and things, he allowed disciples, devotees, to offer worship to that samadhi, saying it is Matra Bhuteshwar. She is the mother goddess. It intrigued many people. But my guide wrote an article which resolved the doubts in many, that when he came down from the hill, it was for a purpose. That was to radiate his realization of oneness of the self. It could not be bottled up in himself. And her consciousness, her presence, was to serve as his Shakti. She was his mother. Now this is something new in the annals of the spiritual history of India. That a sage's mother is invoked to function as the Shakti of the presence. And that continues. The point my telling is that this is not something peculiar here, but it is a tradition in India that where there is to be creation, where there is to be radiation, where there is to be manifestation, there is a Shakti. She is the executive power, fulfilling the will of the Lord, of the Purusha. So, the mother came as the destined Shakti of Sri Aurobindo. We will continue this discussion next Sunday.